our next reader, Catherine Carberry. She started a Barbra Streisand fan club, and she was the only member. Catherine Carberry.
If you had asked me as a child, I would have said that God was a Jewish woman from the outer boroughs of New York. At 8 years old, I had two role models. The first was Fran Drescher, who played Miss Fine on the seminal mid-90s CBS sitcom The Nanny. For my birthday, my third-grade boyfriend decoupaged a shoebox with photos of Fran Drescher, and I would have married him right then and there if we weren't children and he weren't clearly homosexual. It was the first in a long line. I loved Fran's flashy miniskirts and her iconic delivery of Mr. Sheffield. But I reserved an even more sacred worship for my real hero, Barbra Joan Streisand. Fittingly, I was introduced to Barbra by a nanny. A few times a week, my mom would drop me off at the home of an elderly Irish woman, and I'd sit on the plastic-covered couch with Mrs. O'Leary to watch Barbra concerts on VHS. And from the very first talk amongst yourselves, I was in love. I loved Barbra as a plucky Fanny Bryce and funny girl, as a brassy Dolly who was way too good for Walter Matthau. I wanted to be Barbra. I begged my mom to curl my bangs into Barbra's signature 90s hairstyle. I name-dropped Marvin Hamlish at the dinner table. And after reading about her affair with Chris Christopherson, I asked my mother the question every parent wants to hear from their 12-year-old. Mom, what are Quaaludes? As a shy kid, I wanted more than anything to be a big personality. I wanted to be exactly like Fran and Barbra. You might think that translated into an interest in the performing arts, but that's not what I meant. No, I knew I'd never sing like Barbra, and I'd never pull off a sequin blazer like Fran. If I wanted to be like them, I'd have to see what else they had in common. And I figured it out. I would become a strong, funny Jewish woman. There was one minor problem. We were Catholic. And not church on Christmas and Easter Catholic either, but full-blooded Puerto Rican Catholic, altar to the Virgin Mary Catholic, holy water in the bathroom cupboard Catholic, abuelita praying novenas every time the kids had a cold Catholic. I was in the church choir chugging the blood of Christ on the reg. This was a setback. Still, I tried. I learned the Hebrew alphabet. I made a list of Yiddish words, and in the quiet of my bedroom, I would practice sacred pronunciations like fakakta, tukus. A lot of my friends were Jewish, and I liked photography, so I started getting hired to photograph their bar mitzvahs. And I had a good business until I discovered Diane Arbus and got a little experimental in my use of the fisheye lens. When my friend's Uncle Ian took out his dentures and placed them on the white tablecloth, I made a regrettable artistic decision. And after Mrs. Reish opened my packet of black and white photos of teeth, I wasn't hired to photograph any more bar mitzvahs. And my interest in any kind of religion started to fade. I liked bacon too much to be Jewish, and I liked basic human rights too much to be Catholic. Thank you. There's more of us here, I could tell. My church was the Church of Babs. And my husband knew that. One day, he left me on a street corner to run panic down Christopher Street. It turned out he dropped my birthday present. But somehow, a big white envelope marked Barbra Streisand tickets survived an hour on the sidewalk in the West Village. It was a miracle. And later that night, as Barbra emerged from behind the curtain, glowing with a halo of stage lights, I realized I was right all along. God is a Jewish woman from Brooklyn.